All right, let's get into it. You've done the research, you've nailed down the design, and you've got this amazing blueprint on paper. But how do you actually turn that into something real? Well, today we're going to get our hands dirty, so to speak, and walk through the all-important make stage, the part where your ideas finally become a tangible model.
So, here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off by turning your plan into a real strategy. Then, we'll talk about getting all your tools and materials together. After that, we'll dive into the science, the hidden forces your model has to deal with. Then comes the fun part, the actual step-by-step build. And we'll wrap up with the most critical piece of the puzzle, working smart and staying safe. Let's do this.
First things first, a great model isn't just built on good vibes and guesswork. Nope, it's built on a rock-solid plan. This is where we close that gap between what's in your head and what you can hold in your hands. Now, before we even think about picking up a single tool, it all comes back to your plan. Your working drawings have to be spot on. So if you're feeling a little shaky on things like first-angle orthographic projection or getting the scale just right, do yourself a favor. Go back and check out the Week 3 Lesson 1 video. Seriously, a fantastic build starts with a flawless drawing.
So what are we even talking about with this make stage? Well, put simply, it's go time. This is the phase where all that hard work, the research, the brainstorming, the designing finally pays off. You're not just thinking and drawing anymore, you're actually building, assembling, and creating a physical thing.
To really kick this off right, you need two key things in hand. First, those finalized working drawings. We're talking precise, perfect scale, all dimensions checked. Second, you need a flowchart. Think of this as your team's game plan. It's the step-by-step procedure everyone agrees on before anyone cuts or glues anything. This little document is your best friend for avoiding confusion and making sure you're all building the same thing the same way.
Okay, with a solid plan locked in, it is time to gear up. A successful build is all about preparation. Having everything you need right where you need it before you start, that's the secret sauce. And you're going to need two totally different lists. The materials list is your what. It's everything that's actually going to be in your final model, right down to the base it stands on. The tools list, on the other hand, is your how. It's all the equipment you'll need to cut, shape, and join those materials. And this is where that flowchart you made comes in super handy. Because you planned out the steps, you already know exactly which tools you're going to need.
Now, choosing your materials isn't just about grabbing whatever's lying around. It's a whole thought process. You have to ask yourself, is this stuff going to last? Is it actually easy for us to work with? Can we even get it easily? And maybe most importantly, are we using it in a smart way so we don't waste a bunch of it? Getting this right makes a world of difference.
All right, now for the really cool part, building with brains. Look, anyone can glue some sticks together, but if you want to build something that's actually strong, something that can stand up on its own, you have to understand the invisible forces it's constantly up against.
It's easy to think a structure is just sitting there. But it's not. It's in a constant battle with forces. Some are static, like its own weight just pulling down. Others are dynamic, like the load you're going to put on it. Your job, as the maker, is to build a model that can win that fight. And the two biggest forces in this fight are tension and compression. Tension is a pulling force. It's trying to stretch your material apart, kind of like a rope in a game of tug of war. Compression is the opposite. It's a pushing or squeezing force that's trying to crush your material together. A really great design knows how to handle both of these.
And then there's the sneaky one, torsion. That's a twisting force. The best way to picture it? Imagine wringing out a wet towel. That's torsion. So how do you stop your model from twisting itself apart? The answer is actually super elegant. Internal cross-bracing. Those little diagonal supports are your absolute best defense against torsion.
But wait, there's more. The questions don't stop there. You've also got to think about things like, is my material really dense and heavy, or is it light? Is it hard and stiff, or does it have some flex? Will it fall apart over time? Each one of these properties plays a massive role in how your model will perform.
Okay, the theory's covered, your gear is ready, the plan is solid. This is it. This is the moment we've been working toward. It's time to actually build this thing. Let's get into the step-by-step.
So, here's the big question. Are you ready? Ready to turn that pile of materials and that stack of drawings into an actual, real-life model of a pedestrian footbridge? The process is pretty straightforward if you just follow your plan. First, grab your gear. Make sure everyone on the team has a job to do. This is a group project for sure.
Then get building and pay really close attention to your joints and your bracing because that is where things tend to go wrong. Once it's built, get it mounted on a base. And of course, remember to work neatly and safely from the very beginning to the very end.
Now listen up, because this might be the most valuable piece of advice you get. The process is iterative. What does that mean? It means that making things isn't a straight line. If a part doesn't work, if a joint feels weak, you don't just force it and hope for the best. You stop, you adapt, you go back to the design, you make a change, and you build it better. That's what being a smart maker is all about.
We're in the home stretch now. But before we call it a day, we have to talk about what is, without question, the single most important part of the entire make stage. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than your safety.
Okay, look, these are not suggestions. These are the rules of the road. Always protect your work surface. And I'm serious about this one. When you're using a craft knife, you always use a cutting mat and a safety ruler. It's non-negotiable. Keep your area tidy so you don't make sloppy mistakes, and clean up any mess on the floor immediately. And this should go without saying, tools are not toys. Treat them with respect. So at the end of the day, what does success look like? It's a viable solution. And that means a model that's built neatly into the right scale. It's a model that clearly shows you used your materials in a smart, efficient way, and most of all, it was created safely from start to finish.
And just like that, you did it. Your blueprint is now a bridge. But the journey isn't quite over, because now the real questions begin. How does it perform when you put it to the test? And maybe just as important, what did you learn by bringing it to life? That's where we head next.